I normally don't make videos like these, but today things are different. By the way, hey, my name is Emmy. I'm a nutritionist, a weight loss specialist, and the creator of the Slim program. If you want a custom meal plan and a custom workout plan, and you just want it done for you and you want this problem solved, head into the Slim program. But if you want to learn the method behind the madness, keep watching this video. The Slim program is linked in the description bar. These are the most focused, aggressive strategies to help you drop the weight as quickly as possible in scenarios where it's required. Usually, as you know, I am focusing on sustainable, long-term weight loss. But if you've just received a life-threatening diagnosis or you have a surgery that you have to release weight for, sometimes you just gotta make it happen. We're doing that today. 8 hacks that are not messing around. Represented by all this junk in front of me. First, represented by this wad of cash here. You are going to take out your checkbook. You are going to write a check for, think about whatever amount of money feels comfortable for you to give away, double it. So if you say $100 I could give away, you're writing a check for $200. Write a check for an amount of money that feels uncomfortable for you. If you said I could donate $1,000, write it for $2,000. It needs to feel uncomfortable for you. Next, you are going to write that check to a political figure that you hate, an organization that you would never want to support. You are going to mail it up, address it. You are going to give it to a trusted loved one and say, if I do not meet my goal by this date, send this check. Psychologically speaking, loss aversion is more motivating than winning something. It would pain you more deeply to lose $2,000 to support a person or an organization that you and your bones cannot stand than it would be to win $2,000. Hack number 2, please, for the love of goodness, please make sure you're weighing yourself correctly. And what I mean by this is not only how you do it, but what you use. Let's start with what you are going to use to weigh yourself and then how you are going to weigh yourself. That, by the way, is represented by this little scale, which is used for making bread. It is not used for the purposes that we are here for today. Let me get for you what is used for this. Let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, which is Hume. This is what you're gonna use. It's the Hume Body Pod. It is a full body analyzer. So it's going to tell you how much fat you're losing, how much muscle you're losing, how much water you're losing or gaining. When you step on the scale day to day, there's going to be fluctuations. Our weight is gonna fluctuate anywhere, around 5 pounds based on what we're eating and our hydration levels and our hormones. So what happens is people will step on the scale, they will see that the number is up and they will be unbelievably upset that they have gained fat overnight. It is most likely the case, I would say 99 times out of 100, that you did not gain fat, you simply are holding on to more water. So by knowing exactly what's going on in your body to 97% medical grade accuracy through the Hume Body Pod, which you can do at home, actually I just checked, it's not 97%, it's 98% medical grade accuracy. You will know, okay, I didn't gain weight from eating potatoes last night. My body's just holding on to a little bit more water. Because I'm gonna tell you what happens if you aren't tracking this correctly. You're gonna see the number go up, you're gonna think about what you ate yesterday and say, oh, well, I had rice last night, so rice makes me fat, I can't have any more of that. You stop eating rice, you replace that with something higher fat and higher calorie, that's going to lead to more fat gain. Additionally, we want to make sure that you're maintaining as much muscle mass as possible. You are going to lose some muscle mass when you lose weight. That's just the way it goes. You lose fat, you lose water, you lose muscle. But when you're tracking your muscle mass through the Hume Body Pod, you can make sure that you're not losing tons of muscle and not losing any fat. What I love too is that it syncs up with your phone so that if you don't even want to look at the scale one day, you can close your eyes, get on the scale, pick this thing up, hold it, it will all track onto your phone if you just want to skip that day. And it's still going to track everything else that I talked about. It's also going to track visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat that's around your organs, which is really, really bad stuff that we want to keep low. And this is going to tell us what is subcutaneous fat and what is visceral fat. If you are using any run-of-the-mill scale, it's not going to tell you any of this. This also tells you where on your body you're holding fat and where your muscle mass is low or your muscle mass is high, so that you're able to see a full body picture of where you're storing the most fat, because storing fat in different places can be indicative of different health issues or perhaps concerns that you might end up having down the line. Normally, if you were to go somewhere and get this done, it would cost you thousands of dollars. I have a discount code. You can use the code Emmie, and when you stack that on top of the promotion that they're currently having on their site, you can get up to 50% off. I always recommend this to my clients, link down below. Okay, we talked about what you are going to use to weigh yourself. How are you going to weigh yourself? You are going to weigh yourself 3 days in a row, and you're going to take the average of those 3 days, because your weight is going to fluctuate, as we talked about with your water weight, and you're going to compare that average from week to week. Now, I also need to say that you need to weigh yourself before you've eaten anything, before you've drank anything, before you have done anything at all. Weigh yourself first thing in the morning. Actually, you need to use the bathroom first. Weigh yourself first thing in the morning after using the bathroom at the same time. If you weigh in 2 hours later and you haven't eaten anything, your weight's gonna be lower. So make sure that you're weighing in at the same time and you're comparing the average from week to week. Weigh yourself with nothing on. Don't you ever dare weigh yourself outside of these circumstances. If you weigh yourself at the end of the day, you're gonna be 5 pounds up. If you weigh yourself with clothes on after you drink something, always follow these parameters. Next, represented by these here leafy greens, is before each meal, you are either going to have a salad or a soup. This is gonna do two things. The first thing that it's gonna do is it's gonna dilute your overall calorie density. And what I mean by that is that your weight is going to be a reflection of what the average calorie density of everything that you're eating is. So if you're eating tons of fruits and vegetables and whole grains and things that are low in calorie density, you're gonna be at a lower weight. If you're eating a lot of highly processed foods that have had the fiber removed, that have had the water removed, then you are going to, you're eating meats and cheeses and chocolates and processed breads and all of this kind of stuff, pastries, I mean, not the good processed bread, then your weight is going to be higher. So we need to make sure that we're putting as much food in your stomach as possible that is of a low calorie density, which means you need to preload with foods that are low in calorie density. Salad is gonna be the number one. Don't put a high fat, oily, high calorie dressing on it. So if you're using, leafy greens and salad as your go-to, you're gonna wanna use something like balsamic vinegar, or you are going to want to mix together balsamic vinegar, a little tiny bit of maple syrup and mustard, and use that as your dressing. You also could do soup. Soup is hot, which means you eat it slowly. It also has a ton of water, as we know, because it's a liquid, so it's going to help with filling up the stomach. What this also is going to do, especially if you do green vegetables, leafy greens, it's going to blunt the insulin response. So that means that whatever you're going to eat after the vegetables, your blood sugar isn't gonna spike as much. Why does this matter? Because repeated spikes in blood sugar cause two things. First, inflammation. The second thing is that more insulin being released. Insulin is a fat storage hormone. So if you're releasing tons and tons of insulin because you didn't do this beforehand, your body's gonna wanna store more fat. Next up, represented here by my beautiful plate builder, is sticking to your plate builder. What the hey is a plate builder? Well, I have a free plate builder calculator linked below, so you can put in your height, your weight, your age, what your goals are, how active you are, and it's going to tell you exactly what plate builder you should follow. So check that out, linked below. But let me explain to you that we have about 3 plate builders that we rotate between on the Slim program. And if you're in the Slim program, you have your own meal plan, so it's all in there for you. Half of your plate is going to be vegetables. Please make sure that you are cooking these vegetables without any oil or any butter. That is extremely calorically dense, and just a little bit is going to add up. I remember my dad used to say before he went oil-free, he's like, Emmy, I swear we just use a tiny bit, and I would watch him cook. Yeah, it is a tiny bit, but do you know how calorically dense a tiny bit is? He'd say, oh, I'm just gonna use a couple ounces. Okay, a couple ounces is 500 extra calories. A few ounces is gonna be nearly 800 calories. No oil, no butter, no ghee, nothing. You have to learn how to cook without oil. I have an entire module in the Slim program about exactly how to cook without oil. Vegetables, okay. Now on the other half of your plate, we have some other things going on here. We have a source of carbohydrates, which we call starch. The Slim program used to be called the Slim on Starch program because starch is a huge component of your plate builder. We are going to use starches that are minimally processed and ideally not processed at all. So the best bet for you is going to be something like potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn. These are whole starches in their natural form that haven't gone through processing. Then that's also going to incorporate things like rice, quinoa, millet, oatmeal, those whole wet grains. Again, I go into this a little bit more in that free plate builder freebie I have for you in the description. Another thing that you're going to find on your plate is a source of protein. Now, I advocate for a plant-based diet. I very much believe in the power of a plant-based diet. I know that not everybody watching this video is going to want to do a plant-based diet, and I'm okay with that. I can't control anybody. I love the idea of a plant-based diet. Like I said, I eat a plant-based diet. My family eats a plant-based diet. It is really helpful in terms of reducing inflammation, and all of the other things that come along with obesity are going to benefit from removing animal products. The most important being the effect that animal products have on the heart. So I'm a huge proponent of using plant-based sources of protein as opposed to animal protein. I understand not everybody's gonna wanna do that. So I'm just gonna say for this video, do a source of protein, triple bonus points. Triple bonus points. Okay, so that's 3 to the third power, 27 times double bonus points, 54 bonus points for you if you eat plant-based protein. So that is going to look like beans, peas, lentils, tofu, tempeh, seitan. Source of fat. Don't use too much here because fat is super calorically dense. It is 9 calories per gram, which means if you have 100 grams of fat, that's gonna be 900 calories versus if you have 100 grams of starch, for example, that's gonna be 400 calories. Starch is about 1 calorie per gram. Carbs, 4 calories per gram. Protein, 4 calories per gram. So keep the fat very modest. For fat sources, I would choose things like avocados, nuts, and seeds. I wouldn't venture into the nut butter territory, really hard to regulate that, so keep it whole and intact. And then fruit. Fruit can always appear with a meal. Just make sure it's not dried fruit. Next, represented by a steamer here. By the way, I am looking for a glass steamer. If anybody has any recommendations for a glass steamer, let me know. I'm moving away from plastic entirely. Perhaps I put it on my wedding registry. All of your vegetables are either going to be steamed, boiled, or raw. These are the methods of cooking that are going to keep the calorie density as low as possible and fill you up the most. So if you're having Brussels sprouts, you're either going to have them raw, which I'm not gonna do, steamed or boiled. If you're having zucchini, you're either going to do it raw, steam, or boiled. Carrots, raw, steam, or boiled, so on and so forth. No other baking methods. We're not gonna be air frying and baking and things that remove a ton of water. We need to keep as much water in the food as possible because water has 0 calories and it has unlimited volume. So if you are eating foods that have a lot of water in them, that food is gonna take up a lot of space, help you feel more full on less calories. That's why fruits and vegetables are so low in calories because so much of their volume is taken up by fiber and water, both of which don't have calories. Next, represented by my little teeny bowl here, the concept of mini meals. So you don't need snacks between meals, you need mini meals. If you are hungry between 2 meals, then create a meal that is aligned with your plate builder that is in a smaller portion. Instead of looking for snack ideas and you know, trying to be good, be a good little girl or boy until your next meal, have a mini meal. It's the same thing as your plate builder in a smaller portion. It's gonna be balanced, it's gonna keep you satiated, it's gonna balance your blood sugar, and it's going to prevent you from inevitably overeating, and probably overeating on something that's off plan because you're trying so hard to white knuckle through your hunger, and then you end up overeating. So let's not do that. Let's embrace the concept of mini meals. Next, represented by this $20 bill here. Oh, I was kind of nervous I was gonna rip that. This has nothing to do with money and everything to do with the number 20. I couldn't think of another, well, I could think of another prop that I could use here. I just don't have it. The other prop was a stopwatch. 20-minute rule. After you are done eating, wait 20 minutes before you even think about getting seconds, because that's how long it takes for the signal to be sent to your brain that you've had enough. Right when you finish eating, you might be in a position where I want to have more, I'm not satiated, I'm not full. So you eat more and you eat more. And then all of a sudden, like a half hour later, you're like, oh my God, I ate too much. You ate too much, yes, but the real problem wasn't eating too much, it was eating too quickly. And eating too quickly is what caused you to eat too much. So for many people, they think the problem is that they eat too much. The problem is that you eat too quickly, and the result of that is that you haven't given your brain enough time to tell you, hey, we've had enough. So 20 minutes after you eat, no eating during that time, set a timer. I'm so serious. Set a timer, get a kitchen is closed sign. The kitchen doesn't reopen for another 20 minutes. Represented by my phone here is join the Slim program. If you join the Slim program, I will give you custom meal plan, custom workout plan. You don't have to try to figure all this out. It is completely done for you. A grocery list to follow, and we go really in depth too with addressing the mindset side of things as well, and working through your hunger fullness cues and your relationship with food. I have daily meditations in there, daily journal topics. You can ask me all of your questions. Depending on what plan you join, you might have access to me to answer all of your questions. I do a question and answer session every single week. You might even get direct access to me depending on what plan you choose, because there is a plan that allows you to come on calls with me. So choose the plan that is the best for you. And if you're not sure and you say, okay, I'm very interested in that, but I'm not ready to commit, totally fine. Start with the plate builder. Do the freebie that I have in the description bar. If you made it to this point of the video, leave an emoji in the comments so that I know that you made it to this point. I know who's really serious about this. I love you, honeys, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.